All right, let's get into it. Part 2 of the Young Turks and their raging hypocrisy and double standards, watching them collapse under the weight of their own lies and bullshit. Starting where I left off.
If you want to use an example that has nothing to do with race, the same people who claim that they voted for Donald Trump because they feel like income inequality and wealth inequality and political injustice is a big problem in the country are the same people who also had lots of really negative things to say about Occupy Wall Street because they allowed the media to draw this narrative and smear Occupy Wall Street protesters as drug addicts, as losers, as bums.
Really, Anna? Did the media slander the good name of the Occupy Wall Street protesters? I seem to remember they kind of defended them. The mayor of New York defended them. And as I understand it, the movement started out with good intentions, calling out the corporate corruption. Nobody likes that. But it was completely hijacked by all you social justice faggots, and you completely ruined it the way social justice ruins everything it touches. Don't blame the media for this. This is the way they portrayed themselves. After all, how did you put it?
Because they allowed the media to draw this narrative and smear Occupy Wall Street protesters as drug addicts, as losers, as bums.
Yeah, I wonder where anyone could have gotten that idea from. And it was hardly the media that really exposed them. We now live in a camera phone age, okay? We could all see. And you're once again just shifting blame. I'm so sick of this shit. All you do is shield people from rightful criticism. Like we're all just supposed to, not notice that these are a bunch of spoiled babies whining about how it's just not good enough. Yeah, someone needs to pay for my college, bro. Someone needs to pay off my college debts. It just ain't fair. Yeah, it's just the media giving them a bad rap, though. Ugh, it's just the media. It's the media.
It ain't us, it's the media. The media has distorted our image to make us look bad. Why must you come down on us like that, brother? It ain't us, it's the media. Please cut the fucking shit, okay? Okay?
It would have been nice if we could have had legitimate conversations about some of these issues, because, I agree, corporate corruption is a very big deal. It's a big problem for everyone in this country. But, we couldn't really have those conversations because all they did is scream and yell at people. All they did was take over a park and stink it up. Sat around all day, getting high and shitting in buckets, vandalizing shit, bullying the local businesses who didn't want to let them use their bathroom as their personal washroom. They fought with the cops. They even had to set up women-only tents because women were being raped and sexually assaulted. But as usual, the media, the Young Turks, and the feminists, they didn't give a shit about that because women actually getting raped, it just never seems to fit their narrative, does it?
It happens over and over again. It doesn't matter what the movement is. It doesn't matter what the grievances are. It's a strategy that works over and over again.
Oh, you mean like Tea Party protesters? Yeah, remember how the media smeared them as racist immediately? Like nothing ever happened that was racist. Just didn't matter what the grievances were. Didn't matter that the movement was started as a protest against the corporate bailouts, fighting this corrupt system. Nope, doesn't matter. They're all racist because the media says so. Because as you say, it's an effective strategy that they do over and over and over again. They were protecting the corporate welfare and the big banks and smearing the little guy. Or how about Gamergate? It doesn't matter what the grievances were. Yeah, it didn't matter that it was about ethics and gaming journalism. Nah, screw all that. It's much funner to run with this silly narrative and just smear them as basement-dwelling losers who harass women.
And so we focus on fighting each other instead of trying to improve a system that benefits us all, not just black people, but everyone in society that could potentially be a victim of police brutality.
Yeah.
Everyone in society that is already a victim of economic injustice, right?
Yeah.
And so the smearing happens in the media, not only because the corporate media loves it, but because it gets eyeballs on their programs, right? And again, we never accomplish anything.
Yeah, I love when the leftist retards pull this one. Hey, come on, guys, why are we fighting each other? We need to come together and make the system better. Well, the Tea Party was fighting the corrupt corporate bailouts. I thought the left was against that stuff too, but all you did was smear them as racist. Couldn't come together on that one, huh? Most of us are trying to do that. Most of us are having reasonable discussion and debate, people on the left included. But it's that certain section on the left, all the little minions running around disrupting speeches, getting them canceled, antagonizing people constantly, protesting anything and everything ad nauseum. Black Lives Matter's literally killing people. Whenever they get caught with their pants down, it's always like, oh, well, come on, both sides are to blame. Yeah, sure, hey, no one's perfect, right? But we never sent paid protesters to your rallies to stir up violence. and then have the media lie about it and claim it was you guys being violent because the media's just, on our side. No, that happened to Trump supporters, and it happened at Trump rallies. You assholes protested in the streets for weeks after Trump won. And Trump supporters were violently attacked after the election in countless examples, and yet the media immediately over-publicized a bunch of fake hate crimes supposedly committed by Trump voters. One by one, they were proven to be hoaxes. And this same media calls everyone else fake news. You guys tried every dirty trick you could think of to somehow overturn the legally won election, from the post-election riots to swaying the electors to a recount to this ridiculous Russian hacking narrative. Well, Russia may have influenced the election. We better do it over. And now you're going to be like, oh, come on, we need to stop fighting with each other and come together. Fuck you. We're not the problem. You are.
So I'm tired of my job, personally, being minimized to responding to idiots who get booked on CNN or MSNBC or Fox News.
Oh, geez, that's terrible, Anna. You're tired of actually having to make an argument and defend your batshit ideas? You just want to be able to throw out your steaming piles of bullshit without ever being challenged on it, and now you're being inconvenienced because people not only have different opinions from you, and they're expressing them, but they're also exposing your obvious lies and deception. Yes, so sorry to hear that, Anna.
And so the real problem here is that a defenseless person was victimized, and there should be justice for him, and luckily, these 4 people were arrested, and there will be justice. That's the story.
Yeah.
Unless there is some evidence indicating that these people have anything to do with Black Lives Matter, that is not part of the discussion.
Now, funny, you guys never really need any evidence to associate all white people with the latest act of overhyped racism. That's always the narrative, isn't it? It's systemic. Oh, it's institutional. It's everyone and no one. Our entire society is so racist. You can be racist without even knowing it. This is exactly what I was talking about. They can jump from A to Q to support a narrative that they want to push, but if they don't like the narrative, then suddenly they understand the meaning of facts and details, and that they matter, and demand the highest level of proof imaginable.
Exactly. And look, people try to say, they just want you to think that Black Lives Matter is a violent organization. That is the only thing they want, is for you to think that.
Stand by for the incoming projection and hypocrisy.
But there's still tens of millions of Americans who wanted nothing more than a guy who wasn't just endorsed by the KKK, but fucking earned that endorsement. He worked for that endorsement.
Yep, you got us, Sean. That's all we wanted. Had absolutely nothing to do with policies. No issues were really even discussed, and certainly nobody had any legitimate beefs with Hillary Clinton. Nah, she was perfect. Nope, it was all about racism and sexism and all the isms and phobias. Trump just went from rally to rally and city to city and said, all right, fuck women, fuck niggers, fuck spics, fuck camel jockeys, fuck Mexicans, fuck chinks, fuck Muslims, and build that fucking wall. All right, I think we're done here. And that was it. Election won. Oh, right after he went to the Klan headquarters, of course, and begged for their endorsement. Yeah, then it was won. That's all it took. Honestly, John, it's almost like you just want people to believe they're racist. Like, it doesn't matter if it's true. You just want to convince people of that. God, you people know that you're lying. There's no way you believe this. You fucking know it. You know this isn't true.
And so when they make that case that Black Lives Matter is violent, what example do they give? They give the same example that they have for a long time, the fry 'em like bacon thing about the cops.
One chant.
People, the chant. You know when that happened? That happened 18 months ago. Not only is Black Lives Matter not a violent organization, that's how goddamn nonviolent it is, that even asshole racists who are trying to smear it have to go 18 months back to a couple of people involved in one parade in an organization that has independent chapters in every American city.
And
that's the best you have? You are admitting there that it is not a violent organization.
Oh, dear God. No, you didn't. You did not just say that. No fucking way. They had to go back 18 months. You guys constantly go back decades, sometimes even centuries, to keep pushing this narrative of racism and slavery and Jim Crow to smear all white people in America. That's how far back in history you idiots go. Constantly. One of your latest videos is jank in Charleston, South Carolina, because Dylan Roof. And he's just standing in front of a historic landmark where they used to have a slave mart centuries ago. For no fucking reason. Just haven't talked about slavery enough. These are your pathetic arguments. And do you people actually have a point? No, it's just like you said, John. You just want to smear white people as racist and evil by using this completely vague and illegitimate argument. And when you guys do this routine, you're just talking about white people. Occasionally you limit it to white people on the right-wing spectrum, but even still, Just fuck white people is the theme. Being white is not an ideology, and yet you smear them with these bullshit, meaningless talking points about slavery. But when people talk about Black Lives Matter, they're talking about a specific group. It's an ideology, a violent and racist one at that. Black Lives Matter does not mean all black people. Just like feminism does not mean all women. These are ideologies. We see through your bullshit. And I can't believe, my God, I can't believe you just said, oh, it's just like one chant, man. I mean, it was like 18 months ago. I mean, you're just proving how non-violent they are when they have to go back that far. Right, so, they chant for dead cops and end up with dead cops, and there's just, like, no connection there. Yeah, come on, it's just like one chant, dude.
Pigs in a blanket, fry like bacon.
Our argument is that we should never affirm white life.
It's open season on the crack. We've had enough, and we won't take this shit anymore.
News Talk 1010 found this tweet. Please, Allah, give me strength not to cuss, kill these men and white folks out here today. Please, please, please.
So do you agree with Malcolm X that white people should be killed? Is that why you're here?
You damn right I do.
You better fight they asses. Fight them. Do you hear me?
20 more pigs and we'll be through. A pig is a pig, that's what I said.
And look, the amazing part about all of this is the very clear double standard, right?
Oh, God, yeah. Please, Anna, tell us about double standards, will ya?
You can have our president-elect go up there, say on the podium during the election that he wants to punch people in the face, right? Advocating or inciting violence, but that's okay. That's totally fine. And then you have some random individuals out there chanting fry 'em like bacon, and that's it. They have now painted a picture for an entire movement in the country to the point where something like this happens, and that's it. It's immediately tied to that organization.
Literally complaining about double standards while she engages in double standards. Claiming Trump was advocating violence on the campaign trail. Oh my God, he said he wanted to punch people in the face. Yeah, some stupid quip that means nothing. But you guys are going to get hyper-literal with it and express your disapproval. Oh, how brave of you. Oh, but Black Lives Matter, oh, it's gone. That's totally different. It was just like this one chant, and, you're going to smear the whole group? Come on, that's not right. Yeah, it is different. We're not talking about a few comments blown way out of size. These people are dead serious when they preach their violent and hateful rhetoric. They aren't fucking around. You are lying if you can't tell the difference. Oh, and aside from that, they've actually attacked people, killed cops, started riots. So there's that. Oh, but it's fine, you see, because each and every time it was just like, these other people, they had nothing to do with Black Lives Matter. Come on, it's okay, it's fine.
But that's okay. That's totally fine.
Yep, it's okay. No double standards going on here. It's okay to send paid protesters to Trump rallies and cause violence. Yeah, it's okay. It's totally fine.
Conflict engagement in the lines at Trump rallies? No. We're starting anarchy here.
But that's okay. That's totally fine.
No, yeah, it's all good. People on the left can do fucking anything. They can murder, rape, kidnap, torture, and just somehow people will defend it. It's all good. They're on the left. It's fine. Got a narrative to push. It's okay for lefty writers to write articles encouraging violence against Trump supporters. It's all good. It's okay for Bill Clinton to rape and assault all the women he wants, and Hillary covers it up, silences the women. Oh, but Trump talks about women in a vulgar manner in private on an RV 10 fucking years ago, and holy shit. I mean, the guy obviously hates women, wants to take away their voting rights. It's okay for Hillary and Obama to let in a foreign culture and ideology that hates women, hates gays, hates freedom. Yeah, that's okay. Oh, but Trump wanting to keep that ideology out, actually wanting to keep us safe, somehow that is just crossing the line. Not okay. God, I am so fucking sick of you people and your selective outrage.
I have no respect for women who voted for Trump, okay?
Yeah, me too.
I think so poorly of them, and the reason why is because, look, I don't think that you're a single issue voter. I just think you're dumb, okay? I think you're fucking dumb. So that's what's going on, and it's depressing because if you really genuinely care about justice, then you would focus on what the facts are. And in this case, the facts are that, again, a defenseless person was victimized, and we need to make sure that we carry out justice so stuff like this doesn't continue to happen. By the way, it's happened in Chicago, where crime is insane right now. That's another problem. So let's shift our focus on dealing with crime in Chicago as opposed to smearing people based on absolutely no evidence whatsoever.
Just never ends with the double standards. Yeah, when stuff like this happens, no one is allowed to make it political because it doesn't support our bullshit narrative. Oh, don't worry though, we'll let you know what you can and cannot be outraged over.
Because I was listening to Rudy Giuliani a lot today, so I want these 2 seconds. He was one of them who was talking about the black on black crime. It's one of his go-tos. So this is the other thing. This is how disingenuous it is to talk about that as if that's what you care about. You actually don't care about that. If you're like, well, think of Chicago, because everyone goes to Chicago. But if you care about black on black crime and why isn't Black Lives Matter coming out and talking about it every time a black kid is killed by another black kid, if you care, which you don't.
Everyone on the left at the moment seems to be a mind reader.
If you look up a little bit, I found 41 resources in Chicago alone on a cursory first click Google search of resources against violence in Chicago. And are they funding these organizations? Is Rudy Giuliani pushing funds for it? Is he asking for donations? Is he doing things to give a shit about any of this that's going on? No, he doesn't know about them. And when he brings it up, he assumes Black Lives Matter is the group that's supposed to do something about preventing violence in Chicago. That's not what they were created to do. That's not what they came together about. There's other organizations, they've been around forever. There's the Stop the Gang programs. There's all these things. But everyone who brings it up doesn't give a shit about any of those. If you do, give some money to them.
If you're white, donate.
Funny how it always seems to come down to money with progressives and liberals and just, the ones who are so noble and quick to demonize others for being greedy. Please, token black guy, on the Young Turks, educate me on the correct way to help and care about the problems in our society. Oh, right, just empty my wallet? Obviously. Of course. Yeah, these people think money is the answer to everything. The who, what, when, why, and where, it just doesn't matter. Just give money. And of course, only those organizations you mentioned are the ones who are allowed to care. Yeah, Giuliani, he doesn't care. Who is he to talk about crime? Well, he's way more qualified to talk about this stuff than you are. He's the one who did an amazing job as mayor of New York City cleaning up the crime. But yeah, who is he to talk? He just needs to give money. Well, what the fuck, dude? Anna just said we should talk about Chicago, shift our focus there, raise awareness. And who the fuck are you to say we don't care? Really? Not allowed to care about the fact that so many of our major cities are crime-riddled shitholes? Oh yeah, I don't live in these ghettos, I could very easily just tune out. So, well, I don't give a fuck. Doesn't affect me. Nice of you to encourage me to do just that. I mean, really, what a ridiculous analysis. Just give money to these organizations, then shut up about it. We're talking about massive generational problems. The only way they will be solved is if everyone is talking about them. Not sure where you got the idea that ignoring problems is a great way to deal with them.
But you don't want to because you still need that lame, empty excuse. And that's what Rudy Giuliani's been doing, I don't know, for years now.
More projection. Always projection. That's what you idiots want. You want those lame excuses. You are the ones who don't want racism or the crime and poverty and violence to get better because you love talking about it. But also because, there was another reason. I forget what it was. The fuck was it? Money! Oh yeah, that was it. That's what these idiots are essentially paid to talk about, to push these progressive causes. I mean, without that, what are they? What do they talk about? There are very rich and powerful people and organizations who dump money into these progressive causes and give funding to groups like the Young Turks to keep pushing this crap. After the election, all the big money players just doubled down their efforts. Gotta dump more money into Black Lives Matter and transgender and blah, blah, blah. This is why you don't want people talking about these issues honestly, because it threatens your narrative, which threatens your dollar bills, y'all. So tell me, bro, how much money have you donated? None? Oh, well, then you're not allowed to talk about these issues.
It looks like an Idaho teen football player is going to walk free after all the evidence pointed to the fact that he sodomized an athlete along with 2 other friends in what seemed like a racially motivated attack. This is the person who is John R.K. Howard. He's a transfer to an Idaho school, the Idaho school where this took place. He pled guilty Friday to 1 felony count of injury to a child. And here's a description of the attack. It occurred in October 23rd, 2015, when he and 2 other students, quote, pretended to offer the victim a hug and then held him down and sodomized him with a coat hanger, KTVB reports. And it looks like he's gonna just walk away. So
I'm sure there's a lot of outrage about this story on Fox News. I'm sure they're covering it all day today.
Right.
And that they're blaming an entire group of people for the actions of this one person.
You mean this incident that happened in 2015? Why the fuck would Fox News be talking about it today? Why are you talking about this?
Look, the story, there's an obvious reason why we're doing this story. I think it's pretty transparent. Something hideous happened yesterday in Chicago where 4 black adults, young adults, essentially kidnapped and tortured a mentally disabled white guy. And justice was swift. They were arrested immediately. They are I have no doubt in my mind that they will face prison time. No doubt. And that's what should happen. That's absolutely what should happen. That's what should have happened in this case as well. Regardless of this person's race, regardless of this person's socioeconomic status, he should be in prison because he sodomized someone, he tortured someone, he exploited someone who is mentally disabled, and no one cares. No one cares.
Well, no one but the Young Turks, that is. Yeah, you guys care. Oh, God, you care. You care so much. Oh, my God, it's amazing how much you care. Please teach us all how to care. We need lessons, Anna. Please teach us to care.
We're not reporting this to make a political point, although there is a political point to take away.
Well, of course not, Anna. It's not about politics. You guys are better than that. You're doing this because you care. Man, oh man, do you guys care. You're the world champions of caring, aren't you? I don't care so much about this guy. Can't make any money off that. But this case, oh, you care because no one else is willing to talk about it. But you're going to do what's right, aren't you? So full of shit. Oh, man, your hypocrisy and sleazy tricks are so transparent at this point that you actually have to point it out to try to smooth things over.
There's an obvious reason why we're doing this story. I think it's pretty transparent.
Well, thanks for acknowledging that, Anna. We didn't notice. And by the way, this story, as usual, is bullshit. It's a bullshit comparison, overhyped. It's literally nothing but a case of locker room bullying. And they're making it out to be like a scene from Deliverance. And of course, a white guy can't simply do something negative to a black guy without it being about race. It's just always automatically about racism. Every time. I don't know about you guys, but I've seen so many of these stories, I can tell almost right away when it sounds like bullshit. You know, if you want a full breakdown of the details, AIU did a video with all the details that the Young Turks just conveniently forgot to mention, of course. And what do you know, the plot thickens just a bit. Here's the parents of that black kid. Yeah, both white, and they don't look progressive at all either. Yeah, certainly doesn't look like they went out of their way to adopt these black kids just to prove how progressive and non-racist they were. And they absolutely do not look like they would be quick to cry racism and play social justice politics. Not a chance. I mean, you can almost tell to a certainty, just from the picture, that all of that is what's going on here, you know? And apparently they already had a beef with the school board over teaching sex ed or something. And when this incident happened, they decided to sue the school board for, wait for it, $10 million. Money! This is what social justice looks like. Slimy people trying to cash in on some bullshit claims. Hell, worked for Ahmed the Clock Boy. Dipshit who purposely orchestrated a hoax, and we all knew it from the beginning, but still just ends up a star. With free shit, job offers, scholarships lining up like he's the #1 draft pick for college football. God, that's social justice. Just go ahead and sue the school for $10 million because your kid got bullied. Oh, but he's black, so racism. Therefore, we're now owed $10 million from a town with a population of 330. Where the hell did you think that $10 million was coming from? I guess they just figured the federal government would cough up the dough. God damn. This is the case that the Young Turks shifted to avoid talking about this. It was just too much to ask that you simply condemn this on its own merits. Yeah, come on, I mean, they kidnapped this poor kid and tortured him, but, are we really just gonna skip over this obvious paralleled case that happened last year in small-town Idaho? I think not.
For anyone who's not as outraged by this story, there's something wrong with you.
Well, I guess that's it for the Young Turks. As long as Qatar and people like Soros are willing to dump money into your fake news network, you'll keep pushing out this fecal matter, won't you? Or maybe you could just make enough money with ad revenue. Honestly, I think you have enough hate watchers at this point to make a comfortable living, providing cannon fodder for YouTubers like myself to pick apart for amusement's sake. You're like the practice setting for dismantling regressive propaganda. Low-hanging fruit. But make no mistake, you guys have thrown your lot in with the mainstream media. They too have lost all credibility and are slipping into obscurity and irrelevance. If it's already this bad, I just can't wait to see how it's going to be several months from now into Trump's presidency.
Attacking our news organization. Can you give us a chance?
Your organization
You are
is
attacking
terrible.
our news organization.
Your organization
Can you give
is
us a
terrible.
chance
Let's
to ask
go.
a question, sir?
Go ahead.
Sir, can
Quiet.
you state,
Quiet.
Mr. President-elect,
Go ahead.
can you state categorically,
She's asking a question. Don't
Mr.
be rude.
President-elect, can you give us a question?
Don't be
You're
rude.
attacking us. Can you give us a question?
Don't be rude.
Can you
No, I'm
give
not
us a
going to give you a
question?
question. I'm not going to give you a
Can
question.
Can you state categorically?
You are fake news.
Sir,
Go ahead.
can you state categorically that nobody... No, Mr. President-elect, that's not
Go ahead.
appropriate.
President Obama